A while ago, we spoke about early game tips and tricks for playing Skyrim on the hardest difficulty. Leaving the early game, you're probably looking like this, cause you've been barely surviving. But now that we're entering the mid game, it's time to start thriving. Here's how. Skyrim is a fantasy game, allowing us to do things that are impossible to do in real life. So the first thing I want you to do is buy a house. And not just one of those clear-cut houses that are already built. We're going to buy a plot of land in Falkreath to build our own home, like my father and his father before him before they both left to buy cigarettes. The reason we built our own house is because it looks really nice and we can add a little garden to it. The garden allows us to grow multiple instances of alchemy ingredients. If you watch my previous video, you'll understand the importance of alchemy on legendary difficulty. Planting stuff in your garden is easy. All that's needed is an initial ingredient that you want to plant, after which it will grow multiple units. We can speed up these growth cycles by waiting several days or by fast traveling back and forth between faraway places. This way, you'll never run out of valuable alchemy ingredients. Before you can build the garden, you'll need the following items to build a small house. If you want to have an alchemy station inside, you'll need to have the main hall included as well, which can be built with these materials. After the completion of the main hall, you have the option to construct an alchemy station with the following items. For lumber, you can just befriend the saucy little minx by giving her one piece of firewood. After which, you'll be allowed to get lumber for free. This takes more time, but it's a great option if you're low on cash. If one of your followers has been made steward of your house,
I'd be honored to be your steward. You've built a fine steading here.
Oh,
Lead on.
you can fully furnish the main hall for 3500 gold. For now, this is all we'll need in the house. Strictly speaking, you can do this on a much grander scale with the Golden Hills plantation. What's up, y'all? I'm at my grandma's house, playing on her X-Station play switch profile. Farming be my business and business be booming. This is a creation club item though, so this video will focus on homesteading in the vanilla game. Now I can hear you think, this shit sounds mighty expensive. How are we ever going to pay for this? Now that we're up and running with the crib, we can start making some serious money. For this step, we'll need Creep Cluster, Mora Tapinella and Scaly Foliota. Mixing these ingredients together will net you with this abomination. These ingredients can be grown in the garden as well. We'll never have to worry about money again. In a similar vein, we can mine ores. These ores will help us with smithing items, and later in the game, we'll be able to add enchantments to them as well. Starting off, I recommend only enchanting items that you plan on replacing later. Save the enchantments on your bigger items for when you have the perk points. When it comes to selling items, I would like to share a little trade secret that does not work in real life. When you sell everything and the vendor is out of gold, you can just quick save, give them a little whack and they'll reset their inventory, alongside their entire gold reserve when you reload the initial quick save. We have now sorted our financial and housing situation. At this point in the game, you are ready for learning the way of the voice. There are quite a few shouts that really help out during legendary gameplay. Problem is getting the dragon souls, so let's start there. Dragons start spawning after completion of the quest Dragon Rising, and the spawn rate increases significantly after the quest A Blade in the Dark. The problem is that when you enter the phase that dragons start spawning, you probably don't have the right perks or power level to make short work of the dragons. Even if you survive, they'll put a dent in your time and resources. So maybe I can make your life easier. I took a little look in the game's code because I am really smart and I figured out how dragon spawns intervals work. The long and short of it is that after a long time has passed without a random dragon spawn, the chance of a dragon spawning after fast traveling is significantly increased. So here's what I tend to do. I fast travel to a location with a lot of expendable NPCs that are useful in a fight. If a dragon spawns, the local populace can deal with it. If a dragon doesn't spawn, I'll just relocate to a similar place. Every now and then, I return to my house to harvest the alchemy ingredients, after which I repeat the entire cycle. This way, I was able to harvest quite a few dragon souls with minimal effort, while also keeping up with my supply of potions. Alternatively, and this is something I would recommend for any legendary playthrough, you should get your grubby little paws on Mehrunes Razor. This dagger has a small percentage chance to insta-kill your enemy. This includes dragons, which is huge on legendary. Now, there's the matter of actually spending the dragon souls. These are the ones I recommend for legendary difficulty. Become Ethereal is an F tier shout during normal gameplay, but on legendary, it can absolutely save your life when your supplies are gone. It's basically a get out of jail free card if you've exhausted all your other options. Slow time allows you to do more stuff in less time. You can neutralize threats before they even pose any danger. Marked for Death has been nerfed, so it's not possible to one-shot dragons anymore, but it's still something that allows you to get through tanky enemies a bit better. Animal Allegiance is very situational, but it can be good for things like clearing out giant scamps. Now, the all-reliable Unrelenting Force is great for clearing out enemies when they overwhelm you. Under the right circumstances, it's even an insta-kill. This is absolutely huge on Legendary. Now, a little known fact is that enemies are actually paralyzed while they are getting up from Unrelenting Force, allowing you to pickpocket anyone who is still on the ground.
Help! I need a wheelchair!
Quickly bring me his wallet. Good boy.
Let's discuss some high impact perks. Some perks are atrocious, while some increase your power level by an unfair amount. My favorite being Deadly Bash. Another example is the perk Assassin's Blade, which does 15 times more damage when a dagger is used for a sneak attack. We can double this amount by activating Berserker's Rage on an orc. Having the Assassin's Blade perk active does the following to a Greybeard on max level. Defensively, you can think about perks that increase the rating of your self-made armor, or the amount of health you gain from a health potion. Here is a list of my selection of high impact perks with their effects and their minimum perk costs. Legendary difficulty is all about staying alive, so at this point I would like to remind you to subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 1 million, and if you're still unsubscribed, I will come for you, and that will be the end of your legendary journey. Failure was not an option. Or so I thought, but as it turns out, it's quite challenging to paralyze a single person when you are getting ass-fitted by a whole gang. It doesn't help with playing Skyrim either. I had one last trick up my sleeve.